January 1st. A calendar flips. A notification pops up. A fresh notebook opens. And somewhere inside your head, a sentence quietly appears. This year, I'll finally fix my money. You don't whisper it. You feel it. A strange calm. A clean slate. Like all your past mistakes just expired. Credit card debt? That was last year you. Bad investments? Different version of you. Savings still low? Temporary glitch? Because something magical happens on January 1st. We mentally forgive ourselves. Not because anything improved, but because time changed. And that feels like progress. But it isn't. It's a reset. And if your financial life feels like it keeps restarting instead of growing, this video is about you. Let's be honest for a second. People today aren't bad with money. They track expenses. They watch finance videos. They know what SIPs are. They know they should be doing better. Yet, every year feels oddly familiar. Same stress. Same pressure. Same feeling of being behind. New year. Same bank balance. And the scary part? It's not because you're lazy, or irresponsible, or bad at math. It's because your brain is stuck in a loop so common, we've normalized it. Every January we reset goals. Every February motivation dips. By March, life happens. By December, we promise ourselves, next year will be different. And the cycle restarts. Quietly, comfortably, forever. This isn't a budgeting problem. It's a psychology problem. There's a name for this pattern. Not in textbooks, not in finance courses, but it shows up in real life. I call it reset syndrome. Reset syndrome is the belief that time itself fixes money problems, that changing the year changes the outcome. It's the idea that I don't need to fix the system, I just need a fresh start. So instead of building momentum, you keep pressing restart. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Every reset feels productive, but delays real progress. Because real financial growth is slow, boring, unforgiving. Resets feel exciting. Growth feels uncomfortable. So the brain chooses excitement. Again, and again, and again. And over time, you don't just reset your money. You reset your belief in change. But here's where it gets dangerous. Reset syndrome doesn't just waste time. It actually trains your brain to expect failure and forgive it. And once that happens, no income increase will save you. No app will fix it. No motivation hack will last. Your brain doesn't want progress. It wants relief. Progress demands consistency. Relief demands a reason to let go. And the new year gives your brain the perfect excuse. A clean calendar acts like an emotional eraser. It whispers, "You tried. Life was hard. Let's not carry guilt forward." So, your brain performs a quiet trick. It separates past behavior from future identity. Last year you failed, but this year you're different. More mature, more aware, more motivated, even if nothing actually changed. This is called temporal distancing. It's how humans forgive themselves, without fixing anything, and it feels amazing. For about 3 weeks, January motivation isn't real motivation. It's contrast energy. Life feels bad in December. Overspending, exhaustion, reflection. So, January feels good by comparison. Not because your situation improved, but because the reference point changed. That's why January goals feel powerful. And February feels heavy. By March, discipline is gone. By April, excuses arrive. By May, the plan is paused. And by December, you're tired again. Not broke enough to panic. Not stable enough to relax. Just uncomfortable enough to promise change later. And the brain remembers this pattern. So next January, it doesn't expect success. It expects another reset. Over time, something subtle happens. Your brain learns, I don't actually change my money. I just emotionally restart it. So effort shifts, less focus on systems, more focus on intentions, less tracking behavior, more imagining outcomes. You stop asking, what am I building month by month? And start asking, How do I feel about my money right now? That's dangerous, because feelings reset easily. Systems don't. Here's the part nobody tells you. Resets feel safe, because they delay accountability. As long as the reset exists, failure never feels final. There's always next year. But money doesn't work in years. It works in compounding timelines. Missed months don't reset. They stack. And that's where the real damage begins. So far, this sounds personal. But it's not just your brain doing this. The entire system is designed to encourage resets, not continuity. And once you see that, you'll never look at New Year motivation the same way again. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. Money doesn't care about years. Banks don't. Markets don't. Debt definitely doesn't. A year is a human invention. Money works on time exposed, not time labeled. 12 months of discipline compounds. 12 months of avoidance compounds too. But when you reset every January, you mentally delete the math. You treat money like a story instead of a timeline. And stories restart easily. Timelines don't. Let's talk about what actually happens. You delay investing for 1 year. Just one. Not forever. Just this year was messy. That delay doesn't cost 1 year of growth. It costs every future year built on that year. Same with debt. You don't pause interest. You stack it. So, while your brain celebrates a fresh start, the math quietly continues in the background. No reset, no forgiveness, no clean slate, just accumulation. And the scariest part? You never feel this loss immediately. It shows up years later, as a permanent gap. A gap you can't explain, but feel every day. Now zoom out. Why is everything built around annual cycles, annual salaries, annual bonuses, annual appraisals, annual financial goals? Because short cycles feel manageable. They keep you hopeful, but not powerful. If you planned money in 5-year systems, you'd notice patterns. If you tracked net worth quarterly, you'd notice stagnation. If you focused on monthly behavior instead of yearly goals, you'd catch drift early. But annual resets hide failure beautifully. They let you feel responsible without changing structure. And a person who keeps resetting never rebels. They stay compliant, hopeful, patient, waiting. This isn't evil. It's elegant. A system that doesn't stop you, just delays you. A cage made of calendars. Comfortable, soft, invisible, but still a cage. Here's the quietest part of all. Over time, you stop believing wealth is learnable. You start believing it's inherited, or lucky, or reserved for different people. And that belief protects the system, because if wealth feels unreachable, you stop reaching. Something changes after enough resets. At first, you believe, I haven't figured it out yet. Later, that becomes, maybe this is just how life is. Not poor, not rich, just managing. You stop aiming for freedom. You start aiming for stability. Not because it's better, because it feels safer. Here's what reset syndrome eventually does. It shifts your goal from, how do I build something? To, how do I avoid falling apart? So you optimize for comfort. Better chairs, better offices, better titles, smaller dreams. You don't chase upside. You manage downside. And the scariest part? This looks like maturity. From the outside, you seem responsible. But internally, you've stopped believing. Your actions compound. So why struggle? Why push? Why sit with discomfort? If you'll just reset later? Now pause. Ask yourself something honestly. If your income stopped tomorrow, how long would your life stay the same? A week? A month? 3 months? That answer tells you everything. Because real financial strength isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much agency you have. When earning stops, resets distract you from this question. Because as long as you're busy restarting, you never sit with reality. Modern life helps with that. Meetings, deadlines, notifications, always something to do. No time to ask, what am I actually building? So the reset remains comforting. A promise. a delay, a sedative. But here's the twist. There is a way out. Not by working harder. Not by earning more. Not by finding the perfect system. It starts with refusing the reset. And in the final part, I'll leave you with the one shift that quietly breaks this loop without motivation, without willpower, and without waiting for next year. The opposite of reset syndrome isn't discipline. It's continuity. Not big goals. Not dramatic change. Just refusing to emotionally erase time. That's it. No clean slate. No fresh start. No symbolic Mondays or Januaries. Only one quiet question. What continues from last month? Because growth doesn't need motivation. It needs memory. People think change happens when motivation spikes. It doesn't. Change happens when behavior is allowed to feel boring. Continuity means you don't restart budgets. You extend them. You don't abandon tracking. You accept ugly months. You don't label years as failures. You treat them as data. No drama. No self-forgiveness ceremony. Just continuation. And that feels uncomfortable at first because it removes the escape hatch. No reset means no excuse. Here's the quiet cost. If you stop resetting, you will feel worse before you feel better. You'll see patterns you were avoiding. You'll notice drift earlier. You'll lose the comfort of pretending. But you'll gain something rare. Momentum. Not excitement. Not hope. Momentum. And momentum doesn't announce itself. It accumulates. Most people don't fail financially. They just keep starting over. Year after year. Waiting for a version of themselves that never arrives. Not because they're incapable, but because they keep erasing the path they were already on. So here's the only question that matters. As this year moves forward, will you reset again? Or will you finally let time? Remember what you did last month? If you made it this far, you're already separating yourself from people who only consume ideas, but never carry them forward. Most people just want the dopamine hit of a new year, a new title, a new promise. You stayed. That matters. So here's a small test of continuity. If you're ready to stop resetting and start continuing, comment the word continue below. Not for me, for you. Let that be your first quiet act of commitment today. And if you want to understand money, at the level most people never reach, not just numbers, but behavior, identity, and psychology, make sure you're subscribed. We don't do hype on this channel. We don't sell shortcuts. We do the work. I'll see you in the next video. Don't reset. Continue.